XRP is set to eat Wall Street alive. Yes, I strongly believe that this is the case. We're going to go over exactly what I mean by this and why it's so important to focus on these types of crypto projects. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the main thing that I'm looking at here is projects with utility, projects that are enabling the largest use cases that every big player outside of crypto is looking at. What are those use cases? Stablecoins, tokenization. The big two, right? Because again, once you have stablecoins, you could focus on tokenization. You could also focus on DeFi use cases once you have all of that in place. So these are big enablers of significant use cases. Now, when we think about that, right, we look at a few things. Number one, let's think about tokenization because the XRP ledger currently has $180 million tied to it in tokenization. This is actually starting to grow in a big way. It's actually up about 52% in the last 30 days. And it's something that I am keeping a close eye on because we already know today that the XRP ledger is home to many categories of tokenized assets, stablecoins, US treasuries, stocks, real estate as well, non-US government debt. I mean, what we are starting to see with some of these networks is just increased growth of tokenized assets. The main thing that we're looking at here, though, is stocks, because we are going to continue to see more and more stocks move on chain. Currently speaking, we could see what stocks are trading on chain. We have Exodus, Tesla, Master, the actual SPY. We also have Nvidia, Coin, which is Coinbase, CSPX, Circle, Google, Apple. All of this is already on chain. We're starting to see stocks get tokenized in a big way. I think that this is so important to focus on. Also, we have index funds moving on chain. I mean, guys, it's crazy to think, but this is the start of one of the largest revolutions in finance. Now, on top of that, we got an update from Bitwise's Matt Hogan, the CIO. We have here no stranger to crypto bullishness was taken aback by just how bullish Atkins's Project Crypto speech was. Here are the three main investment opportunities he sees coming out of it. Layer ones that support stablecoins and tokenization, Ethereum, Solana, ADA, XRP, Avalanche, APT, Sui, Near, etc. Super apps that are merging traditional assets and crypto alike. Coinbase, Robinhood, etc. DeFi apps like Uniswap and Aave. I mean, guys, what we are starting to see here is extreme adoption of crypto tech. Here we have the full breakdown. The most bullish document I've read on crypto wasn't written by some Yahoo on Twitter. It was written by the chairman of the SEC. Last week, Paul Atkins, the chairman of the SEC, gave a speech to the America First Policy Institute titled American Leadership in the Digital Finance Revolution. You should go read it now. No, seriously, go read it. It's a roadmap for how to invest over the next 5 years. In the speech, the chairman lays out his vision for how financial markets will work in the future. Spoiler alert, it all centers around public blockchains like Ethereum. He argues that all assets, stocks, bonds, dollars, etc., will eventually move over public blockchains. Decentralized finance will play a big role in our future. Crypto assets and blockchains can create exciting new business models. The primary thing that has held us back from this revolution has been a hostile regulatory environment, and that has now pivoted 180 degrees. So this all becomes extremely bullish to focus on. So this actually ignites more and more growth of these types of networks. XRP is one of them. But it all ties back to tokenization. Now, Ripple recently put out a post regarding tokenization. They said tokenization isn't a trend, it's reshaping global finance. Here's how RWAs are moving on chain with secure institutional grade custody across regions. Treasuries and money market funds in the EU and USA, agricultural receivables expanding rural access in Latin America, trade finance and structured lending in Southeast Asia, real estate tokenization with control, alt, and land department on the XRP ledger. Explore more tokenization use cases and learn how custody is at the center of global tokenization growth. Now, within this, we do have a full breakdown of these types of use cases. They even said that from gold and treasuries to real estate and equities, moving traditional assets on chain is unlocking liquidity, increasing transparency, and democratizing access to markets once reserved for a select few. Yet, while headlines often highlight the growth of tokenized products and pilots, an equally critical part of this transformation gets far less attention. Digital asset custody, secure institutional grade custody solutions are what turn the vision of tokenization into a scalable, trusted reality. Together, tokenization and crypto custody services are laying the foundation for an entirely new era of finance. And Ripple is doing just that with XRP at the center point. Here we have a global wave of tokenization. RWA tokenization is gaining momentum across key financial markets, with each region satisfying specific needs. North America and Europe, tokenized treasuries and money market funds are helping businesses manage liquidity and returns. DC Bank, for an example, has launched a digital custody offering for crypto securities like tokenized bonds to enhance capital market efficiencies. Latin America, well, we already just talked about some of these, right? These are the main ones that we're actually looking at. But by 2033, the overall value of tokenized real-world assets is projected to reach nearly $19 trillion, according to recent estimates, and tokenized client assets like real estate and equities alone could top 3.7 trillion and 2 trillion, respectively. This shift isn't happening in isolation. It reflects changing attitudes among traditional institutions, growing regulatory clarity, and the importance of extensive security measures and the rise of stablecoins as an accessible entry point into the digital asset ecosystem. And real estate tokenization in action, well, here you're actually starting to see a few of those big moves. In fact, one of the biggest moves here with Hong Kong with Fubon Bank, we already know that Ripple partnered up with Fubon Bank to tokenize real estate with the XRP ledger. This was back in, like, I want to say 2022, 2023. But Colombia, working with the Ministry of Information and Communications Technologies to tokenize land ownership, improving transparency and reducing fraud. These are all the pilots around the world that Ripple has already supported to really focus on real estate tokenization. Even Dubai, right? All of these moves, guys, the real estate market is like $300 plus trillion, almost $400 plus trillion globally. This is a massive move. And of course, the focus here, the XRP ledger. So when we're thinking about what's going on here, what Ripple is doing, what they're enabling, all of the key pieces here, stablecoins, on and off ramps, digital asset custody, you have XRP and the XRPL tapped in for tokenization. They have an all-in-one umbrella for tokenization. But how is this leading to, XRP eating Wall Street alive? Well, number one, we have over here from Watcher Guru, Justin, SEC Chair Paul Atkins says Wall Street and Silicon Valley companies are lined up at our doors with requests to tokenize. Wall Street wants to tokenize. They want to move on chain. And guess who is enabling this? Names like Robinhood. Here we have stablecoins set to eat Wall Street alive. Crypto isn't just coming for banks, it's coming for everything: stocks, real estate, private equity, and even fine art. With new stablecoin legislation, the US is one signature away from strapping the dollar to a rocket and launching it straight into the future. CEO and co-founder of Robinhood app, Vlad Tenev, said this tech could power anything. It's like turning the entire financial system into an app store. The US wants to lead this revolution, not chase it, and the fuse has officially been lit. Check this out.
I believe that crypto technology is going to power a large part of financial services as an industry in the near future. And the U.S. needs to be a leader. We're a leader in financial services. We should be a leader in all frontier technologies. And the stablecoin legislation is the first step in that, by allowing U.S. dollars and treasuries to be put on crypto technology in digital form. That opens the door to digitizing all kinds of real-world assets, from stocks to eventually private equity, art. Anything can be powered by this technology. So we're excited to see the U.S. taking a big step in leadership. And pretty soon we'll christen this thing and the bill will become law. So it's great to be here for the industry and for consumers. I believe that crypto tech.
And again, this is coming from Robinhood CEO. The fact that this is something that we have been hearing about from one of the largest Wall Street players, again, we got to think about this. Robinhood powers 25 million users to trade stocks, crypto, you name it. And again, he's even telling us that we are witnessing the largest shift in real time. It's everything moving on chain. The SEC told us everything is moving on chain. We even have over here, again, from Vlad Tenev back in the beginning of July, tokenization is perhaps the biggest innovation to come into capital markets in the past decade.
And you probably saw last week, Chairman Atkins of the SEC gave an interview about tokenization. He called it a great innovation. And we agree with that. We think tokenization is perhaps the biggest innovation to come into capital markets in the past decade.
And when we're thinking about this, we think about the connections back to Robinhood with XRP. Okay, today XRP is one of the few networks that are actually, really tapped in with tokenized stocks. Here you could actually see all of the players here tapped in with tokenized stocks. XRP is second on the list in terms of the most amount tied to tokenized stocks. I think that these numbers grow tremendously over the coming weeks and months. But Robinhood, we know, is not shy to XRP. Let's think about the Bitstamp acquisition, right? Bitstamp has been acquired by Robinhood. Bitstamp, in collaboration with Ripple, plans to launch their own digital derivatives exchange built entirely on the XRP ledger. This acquisition brings on a licensed global exchange with retail and institutional users across the EU, the UK, the US, and even Asia. And if we're thinking about this, okay, Robinhood wants to go all in on tokenization. This platform, this is a digital derivatives exchange, and it's built on one of the most prominent networks in this space, the XRP ledger. But again, Robinhood wants to tokenize. They are fully behind this technology. And back in January of this year, big shout to Smoke Dog for this, Robinhood documented XRP in their document on tokenization. It cited the success of Ripple's tokenization of RWAs on the XRP ledger. Look at this. Here we have tokenization January 2025. Digital asset firm Ripple has tokenized hundreds of millions of dollars of RWAs on the XRP ledger. Robinhood is also, they acquired Bitstamp, which Bitstamp was already partnered up with Ripple. They were working on that digital derivatives exchange, and this was all with the XRP ledger. I don't think that this is just a coincidence. I strongly believe that with ROUSD, it's going to continue to become extremely successful. It's going to be a, digital dollar essentially that you trade tokenized stocks with. I strongly believe that this statement here, stablecoins set to eat Wall Street alive, we could change that. I strongly think that the XRP ledger and layer ones like the XRP ledger are going to be the main ones eating Wall Street alive. Because again, stocks will be tokenized on these public networks. Stablecoins will be settled on these public networks. Guess what is the main thing that powers these types of use cases? The gas token. XRP will power these types of use cases with ROUSD and tokenized stocks living on the XRPL. We are witnessing this big shift. It's happening. It's not a question of, I wonder if this is happening. No, it's happening now. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, Nick, thanks for watching. Peace out.